Hey everybody, welcome back to Behind the Title, the official podcast of Treworgy and Baldacci Real Estate Closing Services. I'm one of your co-hosts, Bobbie Grenier, and sadly, I do not have Jessica Mung here with me today. With the holidays and the new year, it's been a challenge for us to get our schedules together to record a new episode, but I promise you, new episodes are on their way. This is actually sort of a happy accident because recently I did a Treworgy Quick Take interview with one of my coworkers who has hit an amazing milestone in her career as a Treworgy closer. I had a chat with Amber Cobb about what the milestone is. I know you're dying to know, and how she feels about it. So grab your comfy spot and your coffee and enjoy this chat I had with Amber. Hey everybody, I am here with Amber Cobb of Treworgy and Baldacci, and she recently has had a huge milestone in her Treworgy and Baldacci closing career. Tell us about the milestone, Am.
So I just recently hit my 10,000th closing. It took me a little under 10 years to hit that, all in one office as well. I've only worked for Treworgy and Baldacci, worked for them for 27 and a half years. So I love my job, and I'm so happy that I've been able to hit that milestone, especially here.
We did like a little post when you actually did. Remember, I said, I need to take a picture. So we did a little post, and that was nice. And so the family was actually your 10,000th closing was very gracious and let us post that picture. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, this is like a huge deal for you and a huge deal for the company. And it was really cool because I don't do as many closings as you do. And I would go to a closing and people would say, has Amber hit her 10,000th yet? And I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't think so. I feel like we need to make a big deal about it. So I really wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about it. Like, what's your favorite part about being a Treworgy closer?
So there's a couple things, actually. Obviously, I love helping people hit those milestones for them, buying or selling a house, a camp, second home, whatever it may be. Is very exciting for everybody. I know when I bought my first home, I was super nervous because it's the most amount of money you're going to spend. So you want somebody doing your closing that you are confident in and feel comfortable with and answers those questions, because there's can be a lot of questions at a closing. So obviously my first thing would be getting to help people do that. Second is you work with the same people for so long, you become friends. So a lot of the times I feel like I'm hanging out with my friends at a closing, the agents or the loan officers. But the number one thing for me is the support that I have in the background that nobody sees, the processors, the title department, the underwriters. I'm secure and I trust them 100%. I could never sell a product I didn't believe in, and I totally believe in Treworgy and Baldacci.
I'm glad that you brought that point up, because I think that so many times you walk into a closing and you have your big, thick file and everybody sees you and you're the face of it, and they don't really understand everything that goes on behind the scenes in the back room, the processing part, the title part. To Julie and Jasmine setting up the files, to Dawn, Cindy, Abby, Devin, Kristen upstairs processing, to our title department, Wendy, myself, Bobbie, the Treworgys, obviously. So it's really nice that you can give some credit. What do you find the most challenging about being a closer?
That's a good question, because, 10 years ago, I would have said just doing the closing and having everybody look at you at the table, can be overwhelming. But I love that now. So I'm very used to that. So I guess sometimes it would be the scheduling, probably making sure that everybody is here on time, which you don't have any control over. So like the juggling when people come late or come early.
I know that when you first started becoming a closer and I was training you, we did most of our closings right here in the office. And now we're on the road, which in some ways, middle of July, you're driving down to Bar Harbor is amazing.
Gorgeous weather.
Middle of February, when you're driving up to Greenville, it can be a little more of a challenge with the weather. So yeah, I think that speaking for myself, the traveling was also an issue. Enjoyable in so many ways, and we love to be able to provide the convenience. But when you mentioned scheduling, that actually came up as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, because the traveling, most times, like you said, in the summer, it's gorgeous and you love it. But other times it's like, okay, I'm going to be 15, 20 minutes late. You have no control over if there's an accident or if the roads are bad or whatever. So we try to leave early and everybody seems very, very accommodating and gracious when we do the closings, even if we're a little late. They understand. But
yeah. How did you even start counting and keeping track of getting to that 10,000?
So it's funny. I had an agent, Emily Ellis, had asked me one time in a closing how many closings I thought I did. And I had no idea. Like, I have no idea. It could be 500, could be 10,000. So I started counting then, and that was probably 5 years ago. So I had been in 5 years doing closings at that point, and I was already at 6,000 when I saw that, and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of neat to keep track, just to see when I hit my 10,000, if I ever do. And so, yeah, it was Emily that got me started on that. So
I am looking forward to your next 10,000. I want to thank you because you do such an amazing job. Everybody's so happy when you come into the closing room, and I always hear great things about you, and thankful that you're with the Treworgy team.
Thanks, Bobbie.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Behind the Title, the official podcast of Treworgy and Baldacci Real Estate Closing Services, with your hosts, Bobbie Grenier and Jessica Mung. Remember, this podcast is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only, and not intended as legal advice. Please remember to follow and rate the show and share this episode with a friend.